What is one trick that they really don't want you to know? Story 1. The most dulling that occurs with cartridge razor blades is not a result of shaving, but rather water being left to evaporate on the blades. I've been using the same cartridge for the past 8 months by running the blades upwards, i.e., opposite of the direction you would when shaving, on a towel 15 times after rinsing it off, then blowing on it for a few seconds. 8 months later, this blade barely pulls at all. I have a small mason jar I have filled with rubbing alcohol that I switch the blade in after I shave. That drives the water off the blades, and when I put the shaver down, the alcohol then evaporates. Didn't reach your record, but I have a blade cartridge last 5 months. Story 2. If you want to cancel your hotel room last minute, but there's the cancellation fee, call and change your reservation to a few weeks later. Call around midday to change, give a legitimate sounding reason, meeting rescheduled, misremember the flight date, etc. This will, hopefully, ensure the agent doesn't make a note in the internal only notes field. Call back to cancel at least 8 hours later. It's unlikely the hotel has agents on 8+ hour shifts. Source, I used to work at a hotel. Stay date changes are rare, even for the hotel, which was by O'Hare, and sent up red flags. You want one employee to handle the change and another employee on another shift to handle the cancel. Hotels are notoriously awful at inter-shift communication. I read a post somewhere somebody bought a plane ticket, but then couldn't go. Of course, airlines don't let you transfer the ticket from one person to another, so they were stuck. Or were they? The airline's customer service was run out of some country that didn't know a James from a Jamsp to a Tpmas. The guy called the airline every day to correct the spelling of the name on the ticket, every day changing one letter at a time until the ticket was now on the other person's name. Story 3. You can file a complaint with the FCC if a telecom company jerks you around, and you'll get the results you should have to begin with. I used this when AT&T charged me local taxes and fees for a state I hadn't set foot in for 14 months. I painstakingly crafted a Google Doc of every single penny and called them and asked for a refund. They told me that they can't refund taxes and that there was no one I could escalate to, and offered me a one-time refund of $25. I filed a complaint with the FCC, and a few days later got a voicemail from an executive customer support asking for a call back. I didn't even bother and got another phone call where they told me they were calling about my letter to the FCC and refunded me every goddamn penny and fixed my account. AT&T are lying fucking scum, but they're still the FCC's bitch. Story 4. You're probably using too much laundry detergent, shampoo, and toothpaste each time you use them. Browse Incognito to get past a paywall news website. Only works where you are allowed X articles per week. Incognito is the news stealing your neighbor's paper off of his driveway and then throwing it in the trash. They might not want you to know, but they don't really care either. It's a porous paywall model. They know people can get around the paywall easily, but the hope is that some of those people will eventually become subscribers. In New York Times case, they have something like over 1 million digital-only subscriptions, and the model has been working quite well for them. Just keep in mind it costs money to produce the news. If you can afford it, you should consider subscribing to a news outlet you like. Story 5. Anytime you order from Papa John's, use the promo code AARP25 to get a 25% knocked off the subtotal. Works everywhere, every time. I usually get 50% off or more. Look up your store on pizzacodes.com. Also, join Papa John's reward system to get a free pizza every time you spend $100. Happens a lot faster than you think. And if you want codes to get sent to your email, get added to their email service. They usually have half-off deals all the time, especially during sporting events. I haven't paid full price on Papa John's for years now. Happy savings. Story 6. Mr. Clean Magic Erasers are just melon mind sponges. You can buy them like 10 for $1 on eBay. Now, this is very useful to know. Over here, one of those Mr. Clean sponges costs about $3. Definitely a saving if you can get 10 for $1. Story 7. Some things are never really on sale. When I worked at a grocery store, the name brand sodas had a very high regular price. Then there would always be a sale on them. The sale might change at times, but the sales price would always be there. The sale price is what the company really meant to charge you anyway. After all, who wants a case of soda for $8.99 if they can buy it at $5.99 and save $3? I've heard that some department stores do this with clothes and other items. A $90 dress that is on sale for $55 was never going to cost $90. Here in the UK, this is regulated and businesses are only allowed to advertise a product as being on sale or marked down on price for a period less than it was sold at the full price. E.g., if they sold a box of cereal at £2 full price for 30 days, they could advertise it as on sale at £1 but only for 29 days, at which point it wouldn't be allowed to be called a sale anymore. In the US, if you're ever pursued for a debt, especially if you are taken to court over it, demand that they produce documentation verifying that you owe the debt and the amount. Quite often, they won't be able to, and the case will be dismissed. Most debt collectors aren't the party you originally owe the money to, but rather companies that purchase debts in bulk for pennies on the dollar. Very often, all they have on you is your name on a spreadsheet, and they're banking on the fact that you won't contest it. Story 8. When buying a car, negotiate the price of the car, not the monthly payment. People are usually more concerned with what the monthly payment will be and are often ripped off. It's easy to do the math with an interest calculator if you have a roundabout idea of what your rate will be. This is exactly why I wasn't a very good car salesman. I would get somebody ready to buy a car, and I would watch my manager piss away my commission, all the while ripping off the customer. Not really my idea of a win-win deal. Story 9. These two drugs are the exact same thing, but the allergy medicine on the left costs half as much and has twice as many doses as the sleep aid on the right. My mother insists on buying Tylenol PM instead of generic Benadryl for occasional sleepiness. I've explained to her 1,000 times that Benadryl is cheaper and isn't loaded with a bunch of Tylenol, which she doesn't need anyway. Story 10. Bulk vinegar can replace a lot of cleaning products. I use vinegar to kill those pesky weeds in my yard and in between the cement cracks. Safe and cheaper than those weed killers they sell in Orange Manly Store Place. Story 11. I don't know if they don't want you to know about this, but here we go. If you're going to make a purchase with an online retailer, it's often worth putting the items in your cart, then leaving the site for a while, because some sites will contact you with a special offer or a discount code in an attempt to persuade you back into making that purchase you were going to make. Can save you a few bucks. It doesn't always work, but it's often worth attempting, especially with solely online retailers. Story 12. If you bought something at a store and it goes on sale afterwards, but the store says they do not do price adjustments, buy another one and then return it using the original receipt. Story 13. Economy size is not always the best cost per weight volume use. You will also find some stores that print the cost per weight volume in different units or different sizes. Same size packages by weight or count may have different numbers of servings, so check that as well. Not a problem in the glorious EU. Price per kg displayed by law.